We the People, foreword and illustrations by David Cottrell. A story about the Constitution in the preamble. Big words, big ideas. The first time I was forced to think about the Constitution was in 5th grade. President's Day was coming up, and my teacher, Mrs. Baldwin, wanted to talk about big ideas. Stuff like freedom, liberty, founding fathers, presidents. I sat doodling a picture of George Washington riding the red 27 Johnny Ginger Mountain Ranger bike I hope to get for my next birthday. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, she recited, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. I remember thinking, man, why couldn't the guys who wrote this just use regular English? Establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. But I guess that's just how everyone talked back in the olden times, like my grandfather, who always said things like Rip Snorton, Hornswoggled, and Rudy Tooty. I'm a much older guy now, and I figured out that the Constitution is simply a list of rules and promises written down by people just like you and me. Some were tall, some were short, some were thin, fat, or hairy, and all of them used to be kids, so you definitely don't have to be a grown-up to understand what they wrote. For me, the Constitution is a kind of how-to book, showing us ways to have happiness, safety, and comfort. Sounds like common sense, right? But a couple hundred years ago, those things weren't common at all. For instance, back then, if you said or wrote something and the people in charge didn't like it, they could put you in jail or stick and tar feathers all over you. Ouch! Now, even though a lot has changed, if you listen, the rules in our Constitution still make good sense. And tar is used to make highways, and feathers are strictly for birds. A few years ago, I went and saw the real Constitution in Washington, D.C. It's an old, brown, crackly-looking thing with curly handwriting that's almost impossible to read. But when it was new, it gave us rights and privileges that nobody had ever had before. It let us decide for ourselves what kind of life we wanted to have. At certain times, I wanted to be a garbage man, baseball player, brain surgeon, and airline pilot. Instead, I became a dad, an artist, and a political cartoonist. When I paint my paintings or draw my cartoons, I can do them any way I want. Being able to do that makes me feel very happy and very free. And I think that's exactly what all those old guys with their big words and big ideas wanted for themselves, for me, for other grown-ups, and maybe especially for kids. We the people. This just means all the people in our country, including kids. You look at all that stuff. That's all stuff kids would like to have. In order to form a more perfect union. That just means to come together and make things better for everyone who lives in our country. So for all these kids playing, they can do whatever they want. Establish justice. Well, that means to make things fair and honest for everyone. Rules. Fair, share, no pulling hair. Ensure domestic tranquility. That means to make sure that we can all have a nice life and get along with each other. Provide for the common defense. Well, that means to protect us from other people or countries who might try to harm us, as in a war, and to help us if we have been harmed. So look, they're having their little camp out, so they're protected, they're safe. Promote the general welfare. Well, that means to help make life good for everybody. Having enough to eat, a place to live, being safe, having friends, and fun times are some of the things that make our life good. And in this picture, you can see they're all having fun and getting to have a great time, just like you get to do with your family and friends. And secure the blessings of liberty. Well, this means to protect our rights and freedoms so that no one can take them away. Being able to choose our religion, to say what we think, to get together with friends, family, and other people are some of the freedoms that we have. To ourselves and our posterity. That means for kids, parents, and other grown-ups, and all people born in our country. So that's for everyone. Do ordain and establish this Constitution. That means to write them down and have a list of rules and promises for our government to keep everyone safe. For the United States of America. That's our country. That's where we live. These words expressed big ideas. And then we have the flag. Do you see the dog coming out at the end? Okay. So this dog is getting to do what it wants to do because it has the freedom to do that because of our Constitution. Today, boys and girls, you're going to be doing several different activities that will talk to you about the Constitution and about our preamble.